All right, like I said, I would like to welcome Augustine. He's gonna be our guest for today. So this is our third time trying it. So hopefully, like third time, like say, is the charm. So, but again, Augustine, you could go ahead and introduce yourself, and thank you for coming through.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate this desire that you have, this motivational to bring something so valuable to light.
Yeah.
I'm Evangelist Augustine Carbo, and I'm more like a motivational speaker as well. My inspiration just come more about life in general, in the sense as we value and whatever it is that we are trying to achieve or we're working on. Opposition always gonna come, but in a sense, it's like we should not allow those opposition, to kind of like bring us back in backward instead of moving forward. Challenges always comes, but what I'm gonna do with those challenges, I'm gonna allow them to destroy us and lose what we're trying to achieve in life, or I'm gonna use those challenges as a opportunity to develop. So that's just my background of what I'm gonna elaborate on, even when I'm getting invited in different way.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I really appreciate you bringing me in here today.
Oh yeah, like I said, we've been trying to get this thing to work. So, but yeah, I'm gonna start. Even though like I said, this is the painful truth. We're gonna start, slowly and then gradually get there.
Okay.
But yeah, I see you got the book, so I was just like trying to talk about the book and inspiration behind it and the motivation.
Yes.
And what is the book about? So if you could tell us a little bit about it, like what is the motivation and the start behind the book?
Thank you. And actually, you are not the first person that asked me this question about the book.
Okay.
The people actually who did my proofreading and also the publications, they kind of asked a similar question. I get that all over when I go.
So it's an easy answer then. You should be trained for it.
Well, yeah, this says I try not to make it easy because if I do, they might miss the point.
Yeah.
There's somebody won't say easy is not an option.
That's true.
That's true. But what really drives me, for me to come to the final deadline, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To kind of like make something like this comes to life. It's always in me.
Okay.
It was always inside of me, but for some reason, I just didn't know how to connect the dots.
Okay.
So what is so inside of me? I'm always looking at it. It's like looking at a mirror when you wake up every morning. You know who you are in a sense.
Correct.
And so now it's like it's in me. I gotta find a way to bring it out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and it's not so much because it was inside of me. It's more like the principles and the steps and the things, the fruit that are so beneficial, how it was helping me myself grow personally, mentally, and maturing, all those things and all that, and stabilize and sense. And when we went to Liberia as a mission trip, because we started a church in Liberia now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I kind of see like the mentality of the young people over there. Okay. Not so much of struggling, but it's like they got this value, something inside of them that really drive them. Okay. So but it's just like they don't know how to bring it to manifestation.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So when we came back to America, back here in US, that right there, that vision, what I saw back home in Liberia, it's like it kind of just kickstart my mind. I was like, I think change for the better needs to come to life.
Got it. So that's part of the motivation.
That's part of the motivation. And up to now, I got a lot of people actually. Some of those youths back in Liberia. Yeah. They really appreciative. Some of them saying to take the hat off, appreciating me, just not allowing something so valuable to just sit inside of me, not come to light. So in other words, it was needed, and I got some guys, some people here in the U.S. One college gentleman, he was basically just kind of saying something like, "Why I wait so long to bring?" I said, I really don't have what it takes to answer that question. So I just kind of reflect back to my own, pretend I don't even know what he was talking about. I said, well, it's not like I didn't really want to bring it to life. It was just more like there was two things. It was fear.
Yeah, of course.
And failure.
Those are the two biggest things, definitely. They follow each other. So.
Right. I say it was fear and failure. I was fear that I'm gonna it's gonna become like some kind of a no value, and I was a failure. Fear that I'm gonna become a failure. You see, and even in this particular the book that I wrote, I even included that chapter in this particular book. And it's more like I want to say in chapter 8, let no man say you can't. Believe you can, because your heart is there. So that all kind of give me the motivational, the energy, positive energy, the zealousness in a sense, to say, you know what, I cannot allow fear and failure to kind of, decided my destination. And especially what I have observed, the thirst and the hungry that I saw in the life of those youth back in Liberia, in Africa. I say, if it's manifested in Liberia, how would it look like in Sierra Leone or in Sudan or wherever? You see, so I came out to have to fight with the man inside of me.
It's usually the hardest battle to fight. That's usually the hardest battle to fight.
But with the help of God, because I believe that all of us got that, that value inside of us. We are somebody. We are important.
That's true.
We are. So for some reason I just cannot hold back. I said I have to bring it to work. So I started going to work. Typing and stuff, and ask my wife. There are times that I barely even sleep. Just scratching.
That's discipline.
Yeah.
And people think that thing comes easy, but that's the discipline behind it.
And now you're looking at it, it's just like, man, people are saying, wow, this is nice, but they don't really know the sweat and blood and the dedication and all that stuff that goes.
Oh yeah.
So. But I'm thankful I didn't give up.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm happy you didn't, because I'm sure there's a lot of people are appreciative of that.
Yeah.
What would you say was one of the difficulties or challenge behind it while you're writing this?
That's a great question in a sense, but also it's almost as a question of bring back some emotion. There are times that I was kind of, it's just I don't really see the value
of doing it, or
I didn't really see the value of doing it. Okay. I don't really see the value of why do I need to bring out what has benefited me, what has actually helped me become, develop maturity, and stable mind mentality. I don't really see why do I need to bring it out, to manifest it in the world. Who cares, in a sense, I'm sorry for my language.
No, you're fine. We in the painful truth. You're fine.
I like the painful truth. So that was one of my challenge.
Okay.
That was one of my challenge, but then it almost as when I believe that God actually, is interested. It was more like He was pushing me, because this is something that a vision that needs to come to life. Okay. A purpose that needs to manifest it. So with that, that's when I could not help myself. When I began to realize, I say, you know what? It's not about Augustine Carbo. It's not about my own development. It's about what's inside of me, how much it's going to make a difference to others. So that's when chapter 7 comes in place.
Is that your favorite, or
challenge yourself with something bigger than you?
So is that your favorite chapter, or is that one?
That's one of them.
Okay. I see you trying to use the line of like, if you have a lot of kids, you don't have a favorite.
Well, you
got a favorite.
You got a favorite. Yeah. But the truth is told, though, that chapter, it's almost as that's the only voice that was just ringing in my mind. That's the only voice that was just ringing in my, in my ear lights, the journey. Challenge yourself with something bigger than you. Challenge yourself with something bigger than you, and you will arrive at your destiny. So I have no choice to turn that particular conviction, instruction into a chapter, which becomes chapter 7. And it says, many of us truly have the potential and desire to become the person we want to become. We do have the potential and desire to become who we want to become.
True.
And deep within us, there is a person that God Himself has designed us to become.
True.
And if you continue in self, and I have no option, but I have to strive. That's my favorite word. I have to strive. And back in high school, I was more like track and field. Most of my my relays were 100-meter dash,
Yep.
200-meter dash, and the hurdles.
Oh, okay.
You know the hurdles are the ones.
Yeah. I did track, but I did 100, 200, but 400. I did 400, but that thing kicked my behind, so I was like, nah, I stick with 1 and 2.
And then you don't.
Yeah, because 1 and 2 I was smoking people, but 400 it was like my shin started to hurt, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this one. That's too much.
So I mean, it's like all that experience from track and field.
Yeah.
Because in track you gotta strive. That's so
true.
that word become inside of me now. I have no option but to strive and try to become, challenge myself. And then after I challenge myself, then I become the seed. Exactly. I become somebody that I was afraid or I didn't know if I ever gonna become. So change for the better.
Not for the worse. I love it. No, I love the title, and I love the message behind it and all that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you spoke. The way you're speaking is like the ministry part. What got you into that?
Oh.
Like what got you to decide? And then is it a potential, for a pastor or a preacher? Or,
yeah.
What was behind all that?
Actually, I had a few people ask me the same question. Some of our old friends, like, man, this guy we're looking at here now, man. Like some of our Samsons and some of the other guys, like he's going on the Bible and talking about, change and their right mind and give your life to God and to cry. What happened with this man?
Yeah.
Long story short, man, it was almost like I just need a better life.
That's a good answer. That's a deep answer, but
okay. I mean, I need a better life in a sense. What I mean, you asked me, says, didn't you had a better life before you decided to adopt yourself in the ministry?
Yeah.
In a sense, if you looked at it from a rear view mirror, yeah, I did have a better life, but it was more like a life of a nightmares.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I won't get too deep on all the other extra stuff in the sense.
Partying and all that
and all the stuff. Yeah, television say, oh, this is great, and substitutes, and you will feel. But then after that, it's more like regressions and all that pains and sorrow. And for my youths, I always have this desire just to love God.
Okay.
Yeah, just love Him and to church. I was never really a church going person. Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's why we're different, because I grew up in church and then changed.
It's backward. Sorry, I have to laugh. I have no option. It's a painful truth.
It is.
You cannot hold back. Whether you want to laugh or you're not, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna let it out. I appreciate your passion.
I'm just saying,
It's a painful truth.
Well, I grew up in that, so
yeah. So it was more like I was actually the least out of my mother's children's.
Yeah.
That really wasn't so care about church and none of that stuff. I was more like put me on the farm.
Yeah.
I was more like put me somewhere in the market.
Yeah. So you like to do the dirty work.
That's just like under the what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So recognition, it was never on my agenda to be recognized and all those things. And got some of my brothers in the line that really want to be like, I'm out here, choose me, hey, hello. I was more like
I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I begin to see the value and I begin to see the purpose. Not so much of that, but it's like, man, I begin to hear more about God. And the Bible begin to reveal to me. It comes to life to me in a sense. I mean, a lot of people might not, accept some of my feedback, but in a sense that that's just me.
Yeah.
And talk about Christ and the love of God and all those things. How much He loved the world and gave His Son for men like me and all those. And so it wasn't something that somebody forced me to become a Christian.
Yeah.
It wasn't somebody like you pouring a medication in a child's mouth for them to, it wasn't none of that.
Yeah.
It was just more like my own conviction, you see, and also the tragedy that I've gone through in life.
Yep.
And within all that obstacles and all those, a nightmare.
Yep.
It almost felt like there was nobody there, but it felt like nobody was there, but somebody was there, which was God. So from a child,
Yeah.
it's like that conscience was in me.
Yeah.
You know, and fast forward, becoming a man, you know, adapt myself in a new group and friendship and making new friends.
Yep.
Swipe in a different direction.
Oh yeah, definitely. The surrounding will change based on the things that you're doing and the people you hang around. It's like either they're gonna pull it one way or another. You know?
Right.
So it's like. Or either you're gonna be the change and they're gonna adapt to you, or you're gonna adapt to them. So one way or another. I mean,
but
I'm glad they, you know, now they're adapting to you.
Well,
so.
in a sense, it's almost like I must go that road first.
Correct.
For me to be able to perhaps to understand when I arrive that I should never, you know, try to judge.
Oh yeah.
That particular group or that particular, you know, platform. I'm speaking in a, you know what I'm talking
about.
No,
right? I totally understand.
So and
it's like